Good day, folks. Welcome to another episode of Andrew's Life. Now, the video I'm getting ready to play for you all, this video was aired about 4 months ago. This video is about a post office worker out of Charlotte, North Carolina, who had a medical emergency, and the post office that she worked for was giving her a hard time about how she went about uh, handling her medical emergency. So I'm not going to do a lot of talking right now. I want you guys to listen, and y'all can listen for yourself here.
We're on your side, pushing for answers.
Yeah, a viewer called us for help after being suspended from their job for calling 911. WBTV's Claire Kopsky explains.
For the past 6 years, Marshawn Brooks has been a mail carrier for the United States Postal Service in Charlotte.
I love my route. Even though it's a walking route, I walk about 8 or 9 miles a day, but I love it.
On November 20th, while out on her uptown route, she was forced to sit down.
I was having chest pains. I had a hard time breathing. So I sat in a mail truck for a few minutes to see if it went away. And then it kind of subsided. But then when I got back up in the mail truck to organize my mail to get out to do the next loop, it happened again.
She says she reached out to her managers using the postal scanner, as she was taught in her training, letting them know that she needed.
I'm not giving no medical advice to people, but the symptoms that she just mentioned are typical symptoms that many people would have when they're getting ready to have a heart attack. Now, if I were her, I would have done the same thing she done. I would have put down my mail and done what I had to do to get myself to the hospital. That way they can treat me and then I can still be alive and healthy, hopefully, and go on with the rest of my life.
Needed medical attention.
In the text message, it included where I was at. I sat around, waited to see if someone from management would respond. No one responded.
After a few minutes, she called 911, and an ambulance took her to the hospital.
I'm gonna put my health before anything.
After nearly 6
I would
hours in
too.
the ER, she was released. She took an Uber back to the mail station to check in because she still hadn't heard anything from her supervisors.
The supervisor was sitting at the desk, and I was like, did you not all see my text message I sent through the scanner? Because I just got released from the hospital. She went to her computer, and her eyes just started bulging like, oh my God. And she asked me, where's the postal vehicle? And I was like, it's the same location that I sent in a text message. I said, this is ridiculous. I had a medical emergency and you all didn't do anything about it.
A few days later, after being cleared by her doctor, she went back to work and was told she was being suspended for abandoning her route.
I'm like, how did I abandon my route? I sent out.
All right, folks. Now, I'm going to tell y'all right now why it is I'm even playing this video for you guys. The reason why I'm playing this video is because I don't want people to assume that just because you work for the government or you work some kind of a government job, that you're going to necessarily be treated any better than you would if you work for a private sector. Now, clearly with this woman, now I've talked to other people here and there that either worked or used to work for the post office, and a couple of these people have told me some crazy stories, how they were treated, just the overall work conditions of the postal services are poor, and just all the crap that many of these carriers got to put up with on a day-to-day basis. So, So I played this video because I want people to understand that unfortunately, we live in a society where many of your employers could give two craps about you. Like in this situation, clearly they didn't they were not concerned about this woman's health. They were more concerned about the fact that she left the truck abandoned, as they put it. Now, I'm pretty sure before she went to the hospital, she locked up the truck and she did call the appropriate people and let them know where the truck was at. Now, in a minute here, you guys are going to hear from this woman of how negligent these people were when it came to how they took care of the situation.
The message, you all did not respond. I had a medical emergency.
She left that morning on leave without pay.
That's just totally just unfair, inhumane, no type of empathy, none whatsoever.
I reached out to USPS and they verified when a carrier is having a medical emergency while delivering mail, they are trained to seek medical attention immediately, which can be done by going to a nearby emergency room or calling 911. But that's what Brooks says that she did.
Oh, absolutely. They don't want to take no accountability, and I'm being penalized for it.
She says it's a reality that has her sitting at home during one of the busiest times of year for postal workers.
You see your carriers, we try to have a smile on our face, be happy, cordial, but deep down inside, us carriers is going through so much far as getting that mail out to you.
I've reached out to the United States Postal Service and they were responsive at first, but when I asked what carriers are expected to do with their postal trucks during a medical emergency, I received no response. I also did not receive a response when I asked why a mail carrier was being kept on leave without pay for a medical emergency. However, after we started asking questions to USPS, Brooks received a letter in the mail yesterday saying that she should report to work immediately. She's back at work today, but now on a mission to get paid for the month that she wasn't allowed to work. Kristen and Jamie.
Okay, well, for starters, I'm glad she's healthy enough to go back to work because we all need to make money out here. You know, crap is expensive. However, I do hope that she recuperates all the lost wages for when she couldn't work because she had to be laid up in the hospital. And I'm hoping that she decides to hire that she decides to get a lawyer and go after the postal service for lost wages and plus of course her lawyer fees. And I was gonna let me think. I was gonna say something, but I forgot. Let me think for a second. But yeah, you know, now I don't know if you guys heard what she said earlier, but she did mention that she clearly let her supervisor know the location of the truck and all that type of stuff. Now, apparently, no one bothered to read her email that she sent. I think it was either email or a text. No one bothered to read it because, you know, I mean, because I guess when she came back to work, or maybe she, I mean, I don't, I mean, I think when she came back to work, they still didn't know where the truck was at. If I understood it, if I understood what she said clearly, but that's, uh, but yeah, I mean, but yeah, this video just goes to prove that many of these companies, whether it be government or be private sector, do not care about you. I mean, at the end of the day, you gotta put yourself first. Now, if I were her, while working and continuing to do my job and get my money, if I were her, I would be looking at other ways to where she can earn a decent living. Rather it be learning a new skill, rather it be starting her own business, just something, because that situation should go to let her know, and I'm pretty sure she knows this at this point, that the U.S. Postal Services do not care about her. I mean, if she would, if she would have been on ahead and continued to deliver, and she would have had a heart attack while she was delivering mail, and then she fell and collapsed on the sidewalk somewhere, or collapsed in somebody's driveway or yard, and she would have, if she would have ended up passing away due to the complications of a heart attack, if that were to happen, which fortunately it didn't, but if it would have, the U.S. Postal Service, okay, they would have they would have half-heartedly gave their condolences to her family, and then at the end of the day, they would have just hired somebody else to replace her, and they would have kept on going as if nothing happened in the first place. So I'm glad she took it upon herself, and she put her health before her job, because obviously, you know, what good is a job gonna do if you don't have your health? Like, if she would have continued to deliver and do what they say that she should have done, like I said, if anything bad would have happened, I mean, the money that she gets paid working for the postal service wouldn't have done her no good, because she would have been 6 feet under. Now, I don't know if she has any children or not. I mean, she might have kids. I don't know. But whether she has kids or she doesn't have kids, uh, you know what? Never mind. I'm not gonna say what I want to say, because I don't want to get in trouble here on this YouTube platform. So I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave it like this, man. It's like, hopefully you guys got something out of the video. And now I don't. Now I'm not. Now I don't encourage anybody to go to work and have a negative attitude about work. I mean, still go to work, do your job, do what you're supposed to do. Give your employer an honest day's work. I'm not saying go to your job and be a slacker. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, you need to put yourself first. So I'm gonna leave it here, because I don't know what else to say. Hopefully you guys got something out of the video. And if you like what I do, give videos like this a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, consider doing that. And on that note, y'all stay blessed.